Tonight, Troy University Radio seeks funds.
Plus, the Johnson Center brings a new exhibit for Troy Fest. Stay tuned, Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News for April 24th, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Every semester, Troy University Radio holds a fundraiser to help raise money for the station. Rachel Scarborough gives us a look at this year's drive.
Troy University Public Radio depends on donations from listeners, businesses, and organizational friends to meet the cost of purchasing radio programs.
A lot of people think since it's public radio that programming doesn't cost anything, but that's very untrue. The suppliers we get programming from, National Public Radio International, American Public Media, among some smaller distributors, syndicators, charge quite a bit for their programming. We spend over $200,000 a year annually on programming.
This week is the 35th annual fund drive for Troy University Public Radio Station, and this year's goal will hopefully help out the university.
Our goal for this spring is $40,000, and we usually either attain or come very close to attaining our goal.
But this is not the only time that you'll be able to donate to the radio station.
We will be receiving pledges from people for months after the fund drive technically ends. You can wait till next month, and send your check in or call the 800 number.
If you plan to donate, you can receive a gift thanking you for your contribution.
It's just something to say thank you. It's not something that's worth a lot of money, and a lot of people, when they pledge, say, you don't have to send me a premium. We have a flashlight. We also have a nice pen and letter opener set. We have some CDs. We have some books. We have just an array of gifts that we can send you for your pledge.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy Trojan Vision News.
You can donate by calling 1-800-800-6616. They accept Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. The fund drive ends Friday, but you can still send your donations throughout the year.
Troy University students will use canned food as building blocks later this week as a way of fighting hunger in Pike County. The Hunger is No Game Can Castle contest will be this Wednesday on the Bibb Graves Quad. University groups will use donated canned goods and their creativity to see who can build the most creative castle on the quad. After the contest, the food will be donated to the Pike County Salvation Army. Organizers hope to both feed the hungry and raise awareness about hunger in the area.
Our goal is to collect 2,800 cans, or 100 cans for every 1%, okay. And so that's 28%. And so 2,800 cans at the Can Castle contest, and just use that platform as a mechanism to engage people in the conversation, and then hopefully going out and doing something.
The Can Castle contest will be Wednesday at noon on the Bibb Graves Quad. Seelan says even if you are not participating, a part of a participating group, you can still donate canned goods at the event. Well, Bailey, many Pike County residents are getting ready for Troy Fest this weekend.
That's right, Judson, and the Johnson Center for the Arts has been preparing to bring in some special Pike County artists for this weekend's events. Courtney Addison has more.
Troy Fest is right around the corner, and one local art museum has worked very hard to make sure people are able to see the artistic talent we have right here in Pike County.
The exhibit that we have now is the Jean Lake and P. Wyndham, the Roots exhibit, Pike County Artists. And these are really pieces that show how special our Pike County artists are and how talented they are.
The Johnson Center for the Arts has developed a way to recreate one of Pike County's oldest traditions by bringing back the well-known artist Jean Lake to Troy Fest.
I think that people really enjoy seeing this exhibit during Troy Fest because Troy Fest used to be the Jean Lake Festival. And here we have all of Jean Lake's paintings, or a lot of her paintings, and we can remember the times that she was here and that we celebrated her festival.
Along with being able to see some of Lake's paintings, people will also have the chance to see various sculptures that many people only get the chance to see if you take a tour of the Smithsonian.
I think that's going to be really exciting for everyone to see two pieces from Hugh Wyndham, Angel of Death and Angel of Birth, and they're reincarnations of the two pieces that he has in the Smithsonian Museum. So it's really neat to think that we have two pieces that an artist created and that are currently in the Smithsonian Museum, and then he made two replicas of those pieces for us.
Courtney Addison, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
The Roots exhibit, along with several other local artists' work, will be on display this Saturday and Sunday during Troy Fest.
And now looking at news from around the state, in Hennegar, Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson and about 100 bicycle riders have started their 5-day, 300-mile bike ride across Alabama to raise money and awareness for tornado relief in the state. A big crowd cheered as Jackson led riders out of the tiny Hennegar earlier today.
And in Mobile, a local real estate investor has pled guilty to manipulating auctions of foreclosed properties. Lawrence B. Stacy is the fourth person to admit a long-running conspiracy. The Press Register reports Stacy pled guilty to a bid rigging conspiracy and a conspiracy to commit mail fraud.
In Montgomery, the Alabama House is considering a bill to require children to begin attending school by the age of 6 instead of 7, which is currently the minimum school attendance age. The bill by Republican Representative John Merrill of Tuscaloosa is on the agenda of bills the House considered today.
Still to come on Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News, the Trojan baseball team is at home tonight against an in-state rival, Auburn. Justin Carroll will join us next in sports with all the details.
But first, 5 Northeast states hold Republican primaries today. We'll let you know how the candidates did after the break.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
At the heart of what we do in the College of Business is care for the students.
We feel like the students are our most important assets.
I have never been anywhere where I've known so many students on first-name basis.
What we try to do at Troy University is provide an experience to students that not only provide the curriculum that allows them to be successful in the business world, but we also try to expand their horizons to reach greater opportunities that maybe they didn't think they were capable of before.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson Garner, the Global News Desk. Judson?
Thank you, Bailey. 5 Northeast states hold Republican primaries today. Mitt Romney is expected to sweep all 5 as he inches closer to winning enough delegates to officially secure the GOP presidential nomination. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington, D.C. A former aide is sharing intimate details about John Edwards' affair and how they tried to cover it up during the 2008 campaign. The former presidential candidate is accused of illegally using campaign finances. Dick Brennan is in Greensboro, North Carolina with the latest from the court.
The prosecution's star witness, Andrew Young, came to court and zeroed in on the heart of the case against John Edwards.
Good morning.
That the former presidential candidate used illegal campaign contributions to cover up his affair with Riel Hunter. The former campaign aide said Edwards insisted they speak in code about some payments because, quote, he couldn't know about this in case he had to be sworn in as Attorney General, a reference to Edwards' hopes for a cabinet post.
This claim that John Edwards would be speaking in code in order to be appointed Attorney General, it suggests that he might have known that these contributions were illegal, and that's a key part of the government's case.
Young also testified that when Edwards heard Hunter was pregnant, he made a derogatory comment about her, saying there was only a, quote, 1 in 3 chance it was his child. Young testified that Hunter threatened to go public, so they used nearly $1 million in donations from wealthy contributors in order to support Hunter's lavish lifestyle. Young says to keep Hunter hidden, Edwards communicated with her on a secret cell phone dubbed the Bat Phone. And for a time, Hunter used the alias Jaya James. But the defense insists while Edwards may have committed a sin, he's not guilty of any crime.
If you've got a mistress and you're flying around the country to keep her away from your wife, is it really connected to your campaign?
Young says one wealthy donor would write checks to an interior designer in Charlotte who would then put the money into Young's personal account. In Greensboro, North Carolina, Dick Brennan for CBS News.
A former aide is sharing intimate details. 5 Northeast states hold Republican primaries today, and Mitt Romney is expected to sweep all 5. Daniel Nottingham has the latest from Washington, D.C.
GOP voters are casting their ballots in western Pennsylvania.
Just vote for whoever you want to.
The state is one of 5 holding Republican primaries today. But Mitt Romney is looking to add to his commanding lead in the delegate count.
I like him, and I think he'll probably do better handling money than Obama does.
Good morning.
But the Massachusetts governor is already sounding like the GOP's nominee, campaigning against President Obama.
I'd like you to go out and vote in your primary and give me your support and show that we're ready and willing to take on President Obama.
He's also making appearances with Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who some see as a potential running mate.
Romney, even if he never picks Rubio in the end, benefits from being seen with him. Rubio's Cuban heritage might help Hispanic voters be open to him.
President Obama will spend the day courting young voters. He visits 2 college campuses in battleground states to push for an extension of low interest rates for school loans.
Once we graduate, we have ridiculous amounts of loans, and it's hard to pay them off.
Romney now also endorses a temporary extension of lower interest rates for students, even though GOP House members oppose it. Both campaigns are fighting for the support of young voters buried in college debt, which is higher than the amount Americans owe on credit cards or auto loans. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
Britain's phone hacking scandal is putting Rupert Murdoch's family empire back in the spotlight. Rupert's son James testified today before a government panel. Monica Villamizar reports from London.
James Murdoch adjusted his tie at the back entrance of Britain's High Court before defending himself in a tense public hearing.
And we can examine it, as you said, as long as you like. I'm trying to be helpful.
He blamed subordinates for misleading him about how widespread phone hacking was at the family's newspaper.
I was given repeated assurances, as I've said, that these practices, that the newsroom had been investigated, that there was no evidence.
The News of the World tabloid shut down after hacking allegations became public last summer.
Knowing what I know now,
it's the 3rd time James Murdoch has been publicly interrogated about what he knew and when. He stepped down as head of the British arm of the Murdoch empire last year. James Murdoch spent most of the day answering questions here at Britain's High Court. But his appearance is just a warm-up act for his father, Rupert, who will testify on Wednesday.
And if you think there's a lot of excitement and noise for the son, you wait until Dad comes here. The father is the one who really has been obviously at the heart of the empire. And whatever was going on across the whole of the world, including the US, that's where it lands at Rupert's door.
The paragraph, I'm sorry.
This week's testimony from the Murdochs focuses on media ethics. At another hearing last summer, a protester attacked Rupert with a pie made of shaving cream. While this inquiry may not see that kind of drama, court watchers can expect 2 days of intense testimony. Monica Villamizar, CBS News, London.
And that'll wrap things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Judson. And now Dustin Carroll joins us for a look at sports. So, Dustin, big night for the Trojan baseball team taking on in-state rival Auburn University in a little bit.
That's right, Bailey. They'll be getting underway from Riddle Pace in less than an hour. I'll get into that. Plus, I want to talk about softball and track, and I'll get into that right now. Okay. The Troy baseball team will be looking for redemption tonight. Just 1 week ago, the Trojans lost to the Tigers 7-4 in Auburn. But if recent history is any indication, the Trojans have a great chance to pick up the victory tonight. The Trojans have won the past 2 out of 3 at Riddle Pace against the Tigers. But more importantly, the Trojans are just 8-13 since a 9-0 victory over Alabama more than a month ago. And as Coach Bobby Pierce feels, there's no real advantage for his team tonight.
You know, they got to see our guys. We got to see their guys. You know, it just depends on how the game kind of unfolds as to how that information plays into the game. If it's a lopsided game, it doesn't play in there much. If it's a close, hard-fought, tight game, you might can use some of those things to your advantage.
First pitch tonight is set for 6 p.m. This is the first of 5 straight home games for the Trojans this week. And the Troy softball team will be riding high in the Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. After sweeping Middle Tennessee this past weekend and knocking off then number 22 Florida State Thursday at the Troy softball complex, this game will be a homecoming for one Trojan. Freshman pitcher Ashley Rainey is currently 17-8 on the year and the ace of the Trojan pitching staff this season. And as Coach Melanie Davis says, there should be a few Rainey fans in attendance tomorrow night.
We're going to Tuscaloosa to play the Crimson Tide. That's Ashley Rainey's hometown. I know that she's looking forward to that contest. There'll be a lot of hometown folks out there to support her. You know, the Crimson Tide is definitely one of the best teams in the nation. We know they'll be at the World Series come May.
The Crimson Tide are 42-4 on the season and number 2 in the land. For the month of April, Troy has a record of 10-5 and has a 5-game winning streak. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. Wednesday night from Tuscaloosa. And the Troy track and field team this season is coming down to an end. Last week, the Trojans participated in the War Eagle Invitational, and Jeffrey Lewis lets us know how that went and what we can expect the rest of the season.
This past weekend, the Trojans track and field team traveled to Auburn to compete against collegiate as well as professional athletes. In this situation, Troy athletes are considered underdogs. But how did the Trojans perform? Did they rise to the occasion?
Well, we're delighted to go back to Auburn. It's a good facility for us. We just coming out of a heavy training load. I was hoping we'd shine through a little bit stronger, but we had some really good effort.
Good competition, a lot of SEC schools, and Penn State was there, and a lot of other big schools. So it was a good meet. Troy did pretty good. We had a lot of PR.
Personal records were earned by a lot of the Trojans this past weekend. Momentum could be on the side of the Trojans going into the Coach O Invitational on Saturday.
Just gives us a confidence boost, really. Everyone doing good, especially with the day it was and type of hard training we've been doing. So with the confidence boost and everything coming into this weekend, just our home crowd gets us excited and everything.
Even though the Trojans competed this weekend, they have little time for rest. The Coach O Invitational is right here in Troy.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a huge fan base from campus. I mean, those stands will be full. There'll be people everywhere crowding the edge of the track, and they're right in the middle of the action. And we get a lot of support from the student body, and a lot of the faculty and staff work our meet. They're very involved. So it's just like the university itself. It's a family affair.
The home crowd will be in for a treat. Troy has several star athletes that will be competing this weekend.
We've got a lot of athletes ranked on the NCAA regional list, and that's important to get those marks before we go to conference, because when we get to conference, it's head-to-head battle. It's not a marker time that means a thing. You just got to beat somebody.
The Coach O Invitational will be the last competition before conference. Jeffrey Lewis, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
Troy will host the 12th annual Coach O Invitational this Saturday. Following that, they'll have a week to prepare for the Sun Belt Conference Championship Outdoors, May 11th through the 13th in Lafayette, Louisiana. Well, Bailey Judson, big game tonight at Riddle Pace Field. Hopefully a lot of students will come out in attendance. We normally have a good crowd when Alabama or Auburn come here, so hopefully that will be the case tonight also.
Absolutely, and best of luck to them tonight. Hopefully we can pull out a win.
Exactly.
All right, thanks a lot, Dustin.
Thank you.
Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor learns about a local author.
But first, will these fall-like temperatures be sticking around, or will things be warming up soon, Bree?
After seeing those fall-like temperatures over the past few days, it looks like spring temperatures are finally about to come in. I'll have more coming up in weather.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she is the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy Trojan Mission Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins us for a look at weather.
Well, Bree, the last couple of days we've experienced something that we usually don't experience, and that's very cool temperatures. And last night it was especially cool, but it's starting to feel like things are going back to normal.
Yes, we have had exceptionally cool weather over the past few days, but it looks like the spring temperatures are about to come in. I'll get more into that in a moment, though. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see the sun is setting right over Bibb Grave, so whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, you may want to go outside and enjoy your evening. Looking at our current conditions right now, we have sunny skies, temperatures at 72 degrees, dew points at 40 degrees, humidity is at 31%, barometers at 29.97 inches and steady. Winds are coming in from the north-northwest from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 74, low of 43. There was no rain today. The sun rises at 6:04 a.m. and it should set at 7:20 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, overall the state is experiencing some lower 70-degree temperatures. Mobile coming in at 69, Huntsville at 71, as well as Birmingham at 71, Montgomery, Troy, and Phoenix City at 72, and Dothan at 73. Looking at our temperatures around the southeast in our area, it looks like we're in the lower 60s right now, and as we head throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures get significantly cooler into the lower 40s. Looking at our temperatures as a whole throughout the United States, here in the northeast, they're in about the mid-50s, and as we head back throughout our area towards the southeast, it gets a little bit warmer back into those spring-like temperatures. Looking at our departure from normal in our area, we're about 13 degrees cooler than where we were this time yesterday. Looking at our current surface map, you see this cold front right here coming in through the Gulf, which came in about a couple of days ago, bringing in those very cool temperatures in our area, giving us that cold weather. But as we move closer in our area, we see that we have nothing too much going on here, very light winds, and it looks like that cold front is gone for now. As we head into tomorrow, nothing too much going on in our state. No rain. It looks like we'll have a little bit of rain here in Tennessee, maybe coming in our area later on. Something to look out for. And as we move into Thursday, we have that rain coming in through the northern part of the state. Nothing too much to worry about in our area, though. As we move into Friday, that rain moves back out of our area and gives us a gorgeous Friday as well as Saturday as we head into our weekend. No rain. You can definitely go outside and enjoy your weekend. For tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies. Cool night with light winds coming in from the west-northwest at about 11 miles per hour with a low of 49. So tonight will be much like last night, very cool. So if you go out tonight, you may want to grab a light jacket just to stay warm. For tomorrow's forecast, we have sunny skies, a high UV index, light winds coming in from the southwest at about 12 miles per hour with a high of 84. So tomorrow will be much like today. Very pretty outside, except it will be a lot warmer with those spring temperatures finally coming in. Looking at our class outlook for tomorrow at about 7 a.m., it should be about 53 degrees, and as we move throughout the rest of the day, those temperatures warm up and get to a high around 82 for tomorrow around 3 p.m. Looking at our 4-day forecast for tomorrow, we have a high of 84 degrees with a low of 60. As we go into Thursday, that high gets to 87, and as we move throughout Friday and Saturday, the rest of the weekend, that high stays right there into the mid-80s. So, Jetson, we do have those very cool temperatures for the first half of the week, but it looks like those spring temperatures are finally here to stay.
Again, we'll probably just have to put our jackets back in the closet.
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot, Bree.
You're welcome.